What is up? Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night. From wherever you're joining me from, thank you again for being here for another reading of A Course in Miracles. It is halfway day for me. That's Wednesday, halfway day. Some people say hump day. I say halfway days, halfway through the week. And feeling good because I am back with another reading of the text version for the book A Course in Miracles. Because it's been a 4 or 5, maybe more, 4 or 5 days, I guess, since I last read section 4, Healing as the Recognition of Truth. And today I'm with section 5, Healing as the Changelessness of Mind. Healing and the changelessness of the mind. This one is 11 healthy paragraphs. 11 healthy paragraphs. I say healthy because they're like about that much. So, without further ado, thank you again for joining me on this channel. If you're just joining me, my name is Joseph, and I read A Course in Miracles, the text version of A Course in Miracles. This great book right here. And I read it one section per day, as close to one section per day as I possibly can. As I just mentioned earlier, it's been 4 or 5 days since I last came back to this, and I'm so glad to be able to be back. It's been getting at me to getting at me and getting at me to get back to it, but things come up. Your life gets busy, and you have to put it off for just a moment. But I have that inclination, that itching in me to get back to it. I'm really excited to get back to it today. Um, so if you're just joining me, thank you again for being here. And would you please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and let me know in the comments where you're listening to this from, or if you even heard of this book. And if you have, what are your thoughts about it? Okay? At the end of this video, I always leave a playlist. I always leave a playlist for the entire course that I've done so far, the entire text version, I mean. So at the end of this video, there's a playlist of 40 plus videos so far that I've done, so you can catch up, you can listen in, you can check out whichever section you're interested in. They're all named, they're all titled, so please go check that out too at the end of this video. I'll put that link up, of course, for you. So without further ado, let's get into healing and the changelessness of mind. The body is nothing more than a framework for developing abilities, which is quite apart from what they are used for. That is a decision. The effects of the ego's decision in this matter are so apparent that they need no elaboration, but the Holy Spirit's decision to use the body only for communication has such a direct connection with healing that it does need clarification. The unhealed healer obviously does not understand his own vocation, his own vocation. Only minds communicate. Since the ego cannot obliterate the impulse to communicate, because it is also the impulse to create, it can only teach you that the body can both communicate and create, and therefore does not need the mind. Ego thus tries to teach you that the body can act like the mind and is therefore self sufficient. Yet we have learned that behavior is not the level for either teaching or learning, since you can act in accordance with what you do not believe. To do this, however, will weaken you as a teacher and a learner because, as has been repeatedly emphasized, you teach what you do believe. And an inconsistent lesson we poorly taught and poorly learned. If you teach both sickness and healing, you are both a poor teacher and a poor learner. Healing is the ability everyone can develop and must develop if he is to be healed. Healing is the Holy Spirit's form of communication in this world, and only he and the only one he accepts. He recognizes no other because he does not accept the ego's confusion of mind and body. Minds can communicate, but they cannot hurt. The body in the surface of the ego, the body in the service, not surface, the body in the service of the ego can hurt other bodies, But this cannot occur unless the body has already been confused with the mind. This situation, too, can be used either for healing or for magic. But you must remember that magic always involves the belief that healing is harmful. This belief is its totally insane premise, and so it proceeds accordingly. Healing only strengthens. Magic always tries to weaken. Healing perceives nothing in the healer that everyone else does not share with him. Magic always sees something special in the healer, which he believes he can offer as a gift to someone who does not have it. He may believe that the gift comes from God to him, but it is quite evident that he does not understand God if he thinks he has something that others lack. The Holy Spirit does not work by chance. The healing that is of him always works. Unless the healer always heals by him, the results will vary. Yet healing itself is consistent, since only consistency is conflict free, and the only conflict free and only the conflict free are whole. By accepting exceptions and acknowledging that he can sometimes heal and sometimes not, the healer is obviously accepting inconsistency. He is therefore in conflict and is teaching conflict. Can anything of God, that is the dishwasher you heard beep there, it might beep again or two. Anyway, he is therefore in conflict. In his healing, he is therefore in conflict and is teaching conflict. Can anything of God not be for all and for all ways? Love is incapable of any exceptions. Only if there is fear does the idea of exceptions seem to be meaningful. Exceptions are fearful because they are made by fear. The fearful healer is a contradiction in terms and is therefore a concept that only a conflicted mind could possibly perceive as meaningful. Fear does not gladden, healing does. Fear always makes exceptions, healing never does. Fear produces disassociation because it induces separation. Healing always produces harmony because it proceeds from integration. It is predictable because it can be counted on. Everything that is of God can be counted on because everything of God is wholly real. Healing can be counted on because it is inspired by His voice and is in accord with His laws. Yet, if healing is consistent, it cannot be inconsistently understood. Understanding means consistency because God means consistency. Since that is His meaning, it is also yours. Your meaning cannot be out of accord with His because your whole meaning and your only meaning comes from His and is like His. God cannot be out of accord with Himself, and you cannot be out of accord with Him. You can separate yourself from your Creator who created you by sharing His being with you. The unhealed healer wants gratitude from his brothers, but he is not grateful to them. That is because he thinks he is giving something to them and is not receiving something equally desirable in return. His teaching is limited because he is learning so little. His healing lesson is limited by his own ingratitude, which is a lesson in sickness. True learning is consistent and so vital in its power for change that a Son of God can recognize his power in one instant and change the world in the next. That is because by changing his mind, he has changed the most powerful device that was ever given him for change. This, in no way, contradicts the changelessness of mind as God created it, but you think that you have changed it as long as you can learn through the ego. This places you in a position of needing to learn a lesson that seems contradictory. You must learn to change your mind about your mind. You must learn to change your mind about your mind. I'll come back to that. Only by this can you learn that it is changeless. When you heal, that is exactly what you are learning. You are recognizing the changelessness mind in your brother by realizing that he could not have changed his mind. That is how you perceive the Holy Spirit in him. It is only the Holy Spirit in him that never changes his mind. He himself may think he can, or he would not perceive himself as sick. He therefore does not know what his self is. If you see only the changeless in him, you have not really changed him. By changing your mind about him, by changing your mind about his for him, you help him undo the change his ego thinks it has made in him. As you hear two voices, so you can see in two ways. One way shows you an image or an idol that you may worship out of fear, but will never love. The other shows you only truth, which you will love because you will understand it. Understanding is appreciation because what you understand, you can identify with. By making it part of you, you accept it, you have accepted it with love. That is how God Himself created you in understanding, in appreciation, and in love. The ego is totally unable to understand this because it does not understand what it makes, does not appreciate it, and does not love it. It incorporates to take away. It literally believes that every time it deprives someone of something, it has increased. I have spoken often of the increase of the kingdom of your creations, which can only be created as you were. The whole glory and perfect joy that is the kingdom lies in you to give. Do you not want to give it? You cannot forget the Father because I am with you, and I cannot forget him. To forget me is to forget yourself and him who created you. Our brothers are forgetful. That is why they need your remembrance of me and of him who created me. Through this remembrance, you can change their minds without you can change their minds about themselves, and as I can change yours. Your mind is so powerful a light that you can look into theirs and enlighten them, as I can enlighten yours. I do not want to share my body in communion because this is to this is to share nothing. But I try to share an illusion with the most holy children of a most holy Father. Yet I do not want to share my mind with you because we are of one mind, and that mind is ours. See only this mind everywhere because only this is everywhere and in everything. It is everything because it encompasses all things within itself. Blessed are you who perceive only this because you perceive only what is true. Come therefore unto me and learn of the truth in you. The mind we share is shared by all of our brothers, and as we see them truly, they will be healed. Let your mind shine with mine upon their minds, and by our gratitude to them, make them aware of the light in them. This light will shine back upon you and on the whole sonship, because this is your proper gift to God. He will accept it and give it to the sonship because it is acceptable to him and therefore to his sons. This is true. This is true communion with the Holy Spirit, who sees the altar of God in everyone. And by bringing it to your appreciation, he calls upon you to love God and his creation. You can appreciate the sonship only as one. This is part of the law of creation and therefore governs all thought. Wow. Wow. That's a lot of minds right there. I wanted to go right back to this line that stood out to me. If I can find it, give me one momento. Yes, this places you in a position of needing to learn a lesson that seems contradictory. It says, you must learn to change your mind about your mind. That right there seems like it sounds like it's saying that you think your mind is your brain. You think your mind is only the brain inside your skull. But it's wholly not that. It's totally not that. Your mind is everywhere and it's part of everyone, it's part of everything. It's not just centrally located between your two eyes, behind your eyes, between your two ears. I mean, your mind is everything and it creates everything, not the body. The mind creates the body. I like the quote. I seriously like the quote. I actually want to print it and put it on a billboard or a t-shirt or bumper sticker or something, right? You must learn to change your mind about your mind. The must should be in capital all letters and bolded and underlined and italicized too to me, because that is essential. That is necessary to change your mind about your mind. Out of all of that, that's the one line that stood out to me. But of course, there's so much in here to unpack. There's so much in here to unpack. It goes into talking about magic. Magic always tries to weaken. Magic always sees something as special in the healer, which he believes he can offer as a gift to someone who does not have it. That's the contradictory between magic and healing, it says in here. Healing only strengthens. Healing perceives nothing in the healer that everyone else does not share with him. Again, that's the mind. We all share this mind, the one mind. Wow. Okay. I'm going to unpack this right here myself and go into a little bit deeper. I'm glad I get to reread this, and I'm hoping you get to ask me questions about it. You can rewind it, listen to it again, reword it. I not reword it, but every time I stumble over a word or a sentence, I'll recite it again just so you get the clarification, the clarity of it, of what I'm saying. Um, that is all for today, but I want to say thank you again for joining me, tuning into this channel, and getting some healing of yourself, getting some healing your own. Because I chose to do this myself. I chose to send this out and share this. That right there is a part of healing for my own self. I hope you enjoy the entirety of your hump day, and it gets even better from here on out, and the rest of the week as well. I'm Joseph, your grateful reader for A Course in Miracles, and I remind you that this book is A Course in Miracles. It's a required course, and the only thing that is not required of it is the length of time you take to complete it. I thank you, and join me again next time. Have a good one.